Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about how to avoid or escape a wild bitch attack. And this is no joke. A wild bitch attack can destroy a man's life. Look at Blasey Ford and what she did to Brett Kavanaugh. Even confirmed as a Supreme Court justice, that wild bitch attack has devastated and destroyed that man's life. He will have to live with the damage that this woman did for the rest of his life. And I think this illustrates how important it is. I myself have been the victim of multiple wild bitch attacks. So this is very important. And as I said, this is no joke. But first, let me say thank you to everybody who's been stopping by, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, even donating. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the Howard Dare channel. Just click subscribe button and click the bell symbol next to it and accept the email notifications so that you will get notified when I release new content and go live. And I would really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. So let's talk about it. How to avoid or escape a wild bitch attack. And this is a part of my bitch series of videos available for free here on YouTube. And as I said, it's not a joke. Men are being destroyed on a regular basis by the mere accusation from a wild bitch. The wild bitch doesn't even have to come after you and physically attack you. All she has to do is just mention a few things about you to the boss or to other people in the organization. And that's it. You know, you're devastated. This is not, I'm not merely talking about physical attacks, all right? But let's get into it. Now, first and foremost, number one, avoid the bitch. I know it's not exciting, but if you're coming into an area, a field, a room, a dinner party, whatever, and there's a wild bitch in the area, don't go in that area. Walk around that area. I don't care if you've got to go a half a mile out of your way. I don't care if you have to do an extra half day of work. I don't care if you have to look at your manager and say, oh, you want me to work with Betty Sue? Well, I'm already working on a few important projects. Which one of those would you like me to drop in order to work with Betty Sue? Okay, because you know what's really going on there. Everybody knows what's going on there, is that the man is being assigned to cover up the mistakes that the woman makes. That's it. You can't accept a job assignment with a woman because she might turn into a wild bitch. It's very likely that she will turn into a wild bitch. Maybe her blood sugar gets a little low. Maybe you don't compliment her haircut. Maybe you do compliment her haircut. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But whatever it is, she's going to transform because she has the power. So if you're stuck in a field with a wild bitch, you're not going to win that confrontation. You're not going to outwit her. You're not going to outsmart her. If you do, she might start to cry. And then what's going to happen to you? That's right. Everybody in the herd is going to jump on you and pound you and beat you into the ground, figuratively or literally, probably both. So avoid. Don't engage. You're not going to win that type of a confrontation. Okay, let's say that you cannot avoid coming into contact with a wild bitch, or even worse, a whole herd of them. What are you going to do? Now, this is part of recognizing the environment. This is what Sun Tzu would call recognizing the ground. And I need you to be aware of the sign of an impending wild bitch attack. But before I do, I want to give you an advanced technique. And it might work, it might not. I don't even know if I recommend you adopting this technique at this early stage. But for some of you, it might just save your lives. Okay, so here's the thing. You accidentally wander into a field or a room with a collection of wild, crazy feminist bitches. Like you've got a job assignment there, you're ducking in out of the fucking storm and you accidentally run into the bridal shop and they're doing a fitting for some over-the-wall bit. So there you are. What you can do is you can pretend that you don't see them. I know it's crazy, but there's this weird thing with certain animals that if you don't acknowledge them, like you can actually even look at them and still get away with this. There's no response coming from you. There's no emotional response coming from you. You're blank. And it's like clouds moving across the surface of the moon. Sure, it affects the shadows, but it doesn't affect you at all. And you just keep moving like you didn't see them. Now, of course, you've seen them, but if you don't acknowledge them for a moment, they can be kind of tricked into thinking that there's nothing going on. Here, let me give you an example. If you try to play peekaboo, you know the game peekaboo, with a little boy in the crib, he'll look at you like you are fucking retarded. Like, what are you doing? He won't look away. He won't respond. He'll just like shake his head at you and like, I don't know. That's what he'll do. But you know what happens if you play peekaboo with a little girl? That's right. She'll start to cry. She'll be like, where am I? Where is that person? I'm alone. They need eye contact. They need this kind of emotional feedback. So as a strong male, as a strong, powerful being that you are able to like look at someone and then be like, okay, I'm not even acknowledging you. And they're like, hey, and then they realize, no, he's unapproachable. And you just walk through the field of wild bitches. Now you're watching them, but you're not freaking out. You're not locking eye contact with them and then dropping your head, dropping your shoulders. You're just like moving through. Give it a try. If it's not going to work, you'll know inside of an instant, because these are the signs that I want you to recognize that it hasn't worked. If the wild bitch starts pawing at the ground and scraping at the dirt, and this could mean that she's lifting up files and letters in your area and throwing them down on the ground. She's moving around you in a huffy kind of manner. If the wild bitch or if the wild bitches start to growl, it sounds like, huh, huh. So they're throwing things down. They're throwing their files down. They're walking around. They're acting all huffy, and they're making a huh, huh noise as they do it. This is a sign of a wild impending bitch attack. Now, another sign, if she starts tossing her head, flicking her hair. There's a difference between her flicking her hair, which they can just do that to just do that, versus taking her whole head and flicking her hair that way. Do not confuse this with flirting. That's a completely different action. That's where the woman gently starts stroking her hair, and maybe she like winds up a finger in her hair. It's slower, it's more gentle. She's usually in that eye contact mode. No, this is something different. This is flicking her hair in your direction. These are signs. Now, another sign, glaring at you. This is really weird, because what'll happen is you'll be sitting there completely unaware of her, and then you'll like feel the hair on the back of your neck rising up, and you'll turn around and there she'll be just staring at you, just glaring at you, like her nose is all crinkled up and her brow is furrowed, and she's making those, that noise, huh? And she actually keeps contact with you, like she's stuck in the thought. And then she either turns away, or then she goes into, the scraping at the ground and the throwing things around and tossing her head around and making the noises. You need to recognize these signs. She's trying to intimidate you. She's trying to show you how powerful she is. What she'll also do is she'll turn her side to you. Now, this is really confusing for the men, because she looks, she's showing her body to you. And again, you might think she's flirting with you, like showing off in front of you. She's not. This is an intimidation. She doesn't realize how small she is and non-threatening she is physically to you. So when she does this demonstration, the men are like, oh yeah, she's kind of cute. Right? I never really recognized that she had that particular form to her, okay? She's not flirting with you. Any woman that starts behaving with you in this manner, you need to avoid her. You need to make room. Now, be aware. Sometimes a wild bitch will come at you out of nowhere. You won't even see it coming until it's too late, and she's already got you completely screwed over. She's gotten you fired. She's got your reputation ruined. She's taken your job. She's moving her people in, and you're probably have some legal cases coming your way and some civil cases. Think about someone like Blasé Ford, okay? You see what I'm saying? He didn't see, how could you see that? How could you see something like that coming? But recognize the signs. When the wild bitch starts behaving like this, avoid. All right, moving on. If you absolutely must deal with the wild bitch, you need to bring a kind of authority with you. You can't just be there. You can't be there as an underling. You have to be there like, I'm the city inspector and I'm just trying to do my job. Or I'm another employee in the company and we've been assigned to work together. So let's just get this job done. That's not going to work, to be honest with you. That you might as well be inviting her to, just drop her head and, rip you to pieces. You need a certain type of moral, masculine authority. And this is so much a part of what I try to talk about here. You need your moral and ethical purpose. You need to be focused on the job with orders. You're not there playing around. You're not there interacting socially or trying to tell jokes or trying to influence somebody politically or hear about their views or discuss philosophy with them or religion. You're not doing any of that. You've got very specific job orders and you're trying to fulfill them. And you need to make it clear that anything outside of that area is not going to be tolerated. It's unacceptable. There's no place for it. And you need to be consistent with that right from the start. If she starts trying to talk to you about politics, you just say, look, we're just talking about work. If she tries to talk to you about what she's doing in the weekend, you just say, let's focus on the job. You have to be on course. You have to be focused. You have to be moving through the situation with some authority. You can't just be some aimless guy who's chatting with her. Now, while you're doing this, you need to be aware of your environment. Know where the desks are. Know where the chairs are. Know where the doorways are, because you might have to duck behind one suddenly. And this makes me sick when I see men, healthy young men, moving around in a lackadaisical manner. That's not the way it works, my friends. When we set up a play in the huddle, okay, you're going to go for the post and then you're going to break to the outside. And we're waiting for the break, and the break has to be with energy. So you got a wild bitch coming up behind you. There's a coffee machine. Boom. You need to duck behind that coffee machine. You need to put that coffee machine between you and her. And then you need to move on. That's contentious ground, my friends. You're on dangerous ground, and you need to at least move onto neutral ground. If you're outside, maybe there's a lamppost. Maybe there's a telephone pole. The wild bitch is coming at you. She's all fat. She's got purple hair. She's screaming at you. She's charging. She sees, you're wearing a red MAGA hat, and all the wild bitches are coming for you. Yeah, you get that telephone pole between you and the bitches, and then you give yourself some distance. You don't stop. You don't hang. You don't confront. I'm talking about like a whole group of social justice warriors out on the streets. You're at a rally or something like that, and there's a bunch of feminists up there doing their speeches, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to walk through the area and kind of see what's going on. Maybe get some video for a YouTube channel. Maybe Howard Dare will play it. No. They see you coming. You forget to take off your MAGA hat. You're wearing some fucking red sneakers or something. Holy shit. They turn on you. You got to move. You got to break. You got to know the situation that you're in. So as I said, you duck behind a car. You get something between you and the bitch. Do you understand? Good. Okay. Don't try to outrun them. I'm just saying, okay? Don't do it. Use the environment. Now, if you can't find an escape route, like you can try a quick sidestep, right, as she's coming at you. You could try, but it's probably not going to work. So hopefully you can be like, you realize that you're going to get fired if we go forward with this. You could even bring the situation to a head, the implications of the situation, and just lay that out for her. This is like you're unable to avoid the confrontation. So you're like, okay, so you're trying to get me fired for a false, sexual allegation claim is what's going on here. That's what's going to happen. And the blue pill simp manager that he's going to start, he's going to see you cry and that he's going to buckle, right? So that's what you're trying to do. And, it's possible that could shock her, knock her off course, make her think twice. And then you can be like, I'd rather you don't do that, and then just scoot out of the area. It's worth a try. Hopefully you're recording, some of this escalating confrontational behavior that's coming from her. It's kind of like punching a shark in the nose. It's just an eating machine. It's a prehistoric eating machine. And you're out there swimming, having a good time, maybe, doing a little snorkeling and looking at the coral reefs and the pretty little fish. And a 20-foot great white just comes into the area, rushing at you, and there's no place to go. So you just punch it right in the nose, and it's very sensitive. And hopefully, that'll shock it and make it turn around and go away. And then you can run out of the water. And I'm just using that as a comparison, as a metaphor to kind of give you something to compare it to. Wild bitch attack is just as dangerous, especially if you're dealing with a herd of them. Now, if you are wearing a MAGA hat, you might want to take it off and throw it off to the side and see if they go after that. It might work. Also, consider that you come across another man being attacked in this manner. You might want to, from a safe distance, take off your MAGA hat, your red hat, and wave it in their direction, like you distract the wild bitches, and that might give the other man just enough time to escape. But don't put yourself in danger, right? I'm talking about if you're at a political rally or just out in public and there's some sort of social justice warrior leftist demonstration going on. You may want to distract them from a distance and then get the hell out of there. So that's really all I've got for you. It's a dangerous situation, and it's becoming more and more common for this to happen. I mean, all I can really say is that if you escape one of these situations and you're alive, you're very lucky. And if you're uninjured, it's like, that's amazing. Like, you haven't lost your job, your reputation hasn't been destroyed. Look at what happened to Brett Kavanaugh. He'll never be the same. His wife and kids will never look at him the same. So the respect and the honor that his family and the community held him in, it's gone. So, and he's lucky. It could have destroyed everything. He's alive. So keep that in mind, when you're encountering the wild bitch, whether it be in public, whether it be in the office, whether it be in a social kind of setting. And this information might just save your life. And check out my other videos on this subject, the Bitch series of videos available for free here on YouTube. And support the Howard Dare channel. So if you enjoy this type of content, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. So let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone.